Alright, welcome back to the what is essentially the white Jeep restoration project now. As I told you yesterday, or well, what of the last video rather. Yesterday was Wednesday, today's Thursday. I received my large rear floor pan panel, and I started to make a seat bracket. And I did look to see if I could just buy this, and you can't actually buy this bracket already made, so I do have to make it. So I got it mostly fit yesterday. I'm going to end up chopping a little bit more of this off, and I have to cut this a little bit more so it fits more flush against my front floor pan. This is about exactly where it has to sit, so it lines up with the other one. It's a little bit different than the factory one. The factory one has, some holes here and whatnot, but it'll work. I'm going to end up attaching my seat with just a bolt going through, and then a nut on this side. I'll end up cutting holes above where the seat actually gets mounted so I can actually get to the nut that's on this side. Quick and dirty, but it'll work. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do next, is just chop a little bit of this off, because the side of the seat, or the side of the floor pan actually comes up like this a little bit, so I can sit down a little bit lower. Then this corner needs to get lopped off a little bit so this side can sit down flat. So we'll get started with that. Then of course I have to cut out this section over here to fit that new floor pan in. I'm insane. Alright, there is no more rear floor. Obviously I've completely removed it. Yeah, I didn't necessarily have to cut out this section, but this section has some kind of sound deadening or something stuck to it, and I don't really trust that. There was a little bit of surface rot already happening, and I was afraid of it going under one of those sticky silver things. It's self-deadening or something like that, so I just cut it all out because I don't really trust it. At some point in this Jeep's life, this area of the unibody frame rail is completely coated in oil. Not really sure from where or how it got in there, but it kept it nice and clean over here. It's actually perfect paint under the oil, and then when I burnt through some of it with my 90-degree die grinder or whatever, it was actually completely perfect bare metal, so I just sort of left that there and primed everything with my weld-through primer, and then the inside is all truck bed coating. But
the American Customer Satisfaction Index, it's all about fast food, and Chick-fil-A came in at #1, seeing an increase. They're now at 87. McDonald's saw a 3%
ta-da!
increase, but it's still
I just have to drill my holes over here actually for my unibody frame rails. I'll have to drill a couple holes over here to weld against the inner rocker panel. Drill holes all along this seam, and then I'll do some holes over here so I can weld that together. It'll take some hammering, and it'll take some manipulation for certain parts, but it's in there, and it's good. Something's there must have been a few different designs for the floors in the Cherokee, because the seat hole on this particular 99 white Cherokee doesn't match up with the replacement panel. The replacement panel was designed for an 84 to 01, so at some point Chrysler switched the location of the seat bolt from here to here, or from here to here at some point. At some point it was switched. So I had to make a little bit of a box here to go around the bracket that holds the seat down in this particular Jeep. And, but other than that, I just had to cut off the edges and what parts I wasn't going to use off the new panel. So, let's get going on that. And so concludes this day. The rear floor pan is in there, about welded in all the way. Got it seam sealed underneath. I'm just going to throw a quick coat of primer on there so none of those exposed welds and grind spots get a little bit of surface rust on there. Seat bracket is in. I already talked about the redneck solution that I'm going to do for that. I've got the plug for this hole here, that's no problem. That one will have to foil tape over, then bed line on top of that. And then that's that. Alright, today is Friday. Which means that, well, it just happens to mean that this is the day that I fix my passenger side area. Now the floor on the passenger side on this Jeep is actually really clean, aside from these two spots here. The front footwell doesn't have any rust, besides a little bit up in the very top corner over here. Almost nowhere near as bad as it was on the other side, but my red Jeep had the same problem both sides as well. So does in this one. I found a couple plastic handcuff keys. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to make of that. It looked like they're supposed to go to a kid's toy. I don't know if they got turned into an adult toy. I don't want to know. The handcuffs aren't back here, but the plastic keys are. So, anyways, what I'm going to do is, I already did it a little bit to see what I'm dealing with, but I took my air chisel and I just gave these a good couple whacks to see what it was like. I'm going to end up having to make patches about like I did on the red one. No biggie, I've done this before. I was going to cut an area about yay big all the way around it. Unfortunately, there is a drain plug thing here, so I have to work with that, and then there's this stupid stick-on pasty thing. So I have to work around that as well. On this side, it's probably, I have to work around the seat posts. I might go around this side. I probably should go around this side. I might not. I don't know. It depends on how lazy I'm feeling, I guess. But anyways, I got to cut that out, clean the strap that goes across off, make my patches and burn those in. And then after that is done, I will go ahead and coat the inside of this interior with some truck bed lining. Now, I will not be able to get to the passenger side rocker this week. I'm just gonna not have enough time, because I only have a week off from work. So that's gonna have to wait, and I need to get. I want to put this back together and be able to drive it again. I am gonna fix it up a little bit so it doesn't get too much worse. I have another week of vacation coming up soon. That's probably what I'll do that week. But because after I'm done with this, I have to go through and make sure there's no seams I missed or anything like that. I have to coat the inside of this, like I already said. I have to coat the inside of this area over here on the other side. So, anyways, today's plan is to fix this and start putting this back together after painting everything and whatnot. And I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna clean the carpet up too. So that'll probably be next couple days. Anyways, what am I gonna do here? I guess I'm gonna do some cutting. I'm gonna mark an area to cut. Alright? Alright. So here are the pieces that I cut out. I tried to do it as carefully as I can, and they actually came out really well. They're a little bit bent up and whatnot, but that's not a big deal because I can hammer them back out. So, if you turn them over, you can see a better idea of how far the rust spreads. So, I mean, obviously the most damage is here, but the rust on the surface spreads pretty far. Now, and what happens is the metal gets thinner and thinner and eventually just completely rots away. I'm sure most of you understand that, but I mean, this sort of is a visual of what a rust hole actually looks like. There's the hole itself, but the rust actually spreads pretty far. Now, there's probably a lot of you that argue I probably should have cut more over on this edge, but the metal is actually pretty thick down here. So what I'm going to be doing is just doing some work underneath to clean up whatever else is here. And honestly, there's probably not much more of that spread beyond these points. Anyways, the point of me cutting them out carefully is because I could actually use these to make my template. Now, I've done this before on the white Jeep, and the patches actually looked really similar to these that I had to make. But I figured out back then, a few years ago now, that if I saved these pieces, I could use that to trace them onto a piece of cardboard, test fit it, and then transfer it onto a piece of metal and cut it out. Now, this edge is going to be interesting. What I'll end up doing is leaving myself maybe an inch so I could take it and just do a 90 on it to replace the section of floor and inner rocker panel that got rotted out there. I'm not too concerned about it because I will end up doing the rocker panel inner and outer job at some point. So I'm just going to do a 90 up, probably put some foil tape on it, call it a day for now. But what's what I'm going to do next is hammer these out a little bit so they're flat, and then transfer it onto a piece of cardboard, give myself a little bit extra room so I could overlap it, cut them out, and then weld them in. Alright, and that'll bring us to the end of this part of the White Jeep project, or the Winter Beater Extra, I should call it. Next time, you will be continuing right here where I left off. I continue to fabricate my metal to fix the holes in the passenger side floor, so stick around, and you'll see that next. With that, I will say, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave me a comment. Tell me I'm stupid for saving this Jeep. I don't know. Check us on Facebook. Link is in the description. But no matter what, get out there and do something.